Australian Derby over the 2,500 metres, and today they race for $1 million in prize money. The 151st running of this great Group 1, and our own Bruce McAvaney has caught up with one of the part owners in a Samurai Mind, Gillan McLaughlin.
Gil, great to see you here. A runner in the Derby, mate.
It's exciting, Bruce. Having won a Group 1, we bred the horse. He's very green, but it's fun to be involved.
James Jordan, we know well, on 7, so he's sort of the principal owner, isn't he?
Well, you don't have a say, so he could have 1%. He'd be running the whole show. He's got half it.
You've got a great team, Dan Clark and Lupi McGill. You mentioned Lockie had the big win last week. It's all a whole lot of fun, and you've had runners in big races before, Gil, haven't you?
Yeah, I have had a great horse, Bruce. I've been very lucky. Had a Derby runner, a Cup runner, an Oaks runner. We won the Perth Cup with Andrew Dillon and I have had a lot of horses together, and we won the Perth Cup, which was a huge thrill. Running horses with friends is great, and so James has been very good to me, including me in this, and I love it. And the funnest time to own a racehorse is before it lets you down, isn't it? So that's where at the moment we're enjoying the day.
We all know that. Enjoy. Are you looking for a job?
No, I've had an incredible time off after 25 years almost with the AFL. So I've had a good break, and I'm back out now talking to people now. And the Racing Victoria bit is, I think I've said this. I love racing. I've got to work how, the decision around how I pay for my house and my family. But if after that I can make a contribution to racing, in that capacity as chairing Racing Victoria, I'd do that if they wanted me and it was still available. But there's a bit of water to pass through then, because there's a few steps. But I'm a contributor and I love racing, and if someone wanted me to help and I could, I would.
Let's hope it happens. All the best, mate.
Thanks, Bruce.
Isn't that interesting? There's a couple of jobs at RV open at the moment.
Yeah, so he's referring to the chairman role there, which is in effect an honorary role, but he's a contributor. Patrick Payne, we remember this day with Billy Egan, that was some ride, wasn't it, for them to get their first Group 1 together. From a Tassie Derby to a South Australian Derby, and they combined, well, not Billy, but Patrick Payne is trying to do the same thing again here with Bold Soul.
Yeah, this is the ultimate form reference for the Derby, it would appear, in the chairman's. There's a lot of horses to take note of here, but the one that I've got eyes for, and I think you do as well, is Warmonger on the outside with the white blinkers and the OTI colours, who just sprouts rings and nearly gets their blinkers come off today and up to the 2,500. What about the filly and Coco Sun?
So we go back to Kafilla back in 2019 as a filly that ran in the Australasian Oaks, ran fourth she did, and then came out and won a South Australian Derby. She was super, wasn't she, Coco Sun? I think she's going to be competitive, and I think the fillies actually can fight it out. This is the girl that I've got on top. I thought she was really good to win this St Ledger. I was keen on her this day, and I was keen on her up in Sydney, where she ran 8th in the Adrian Knox and caught the eye. Loved the way that she got out of her ground and really accelerated. I think 25 suits her beautiful.
It's a really interesting placement they've opted to go here, because there's plenty of other races that a 3-year-old filly could go to over the next little while. Gold Wolf wins the listed Galilee Series final at Caulfield about a month ago over the 2,400 metres, so we know that he gets the trip, not a problem in the world. But these South Australian Group 1s often provide a platform for jockeys who haven't won a Group 1 the opportunity to do so. These are the jocks trying to do it today.
So Neil Farley, Jake Toeroke, and he's had an opportunity in the past, Jacob Offerman, and also Jeffrey Maund as well for Ricky Maund, with just brilliant some of the stories. $1 million up for grabs, but so importantly for them, an opportunity to win a Group 1.
Into the yard for the South Australian Derby. Over the 2,500 metres, the one is Antrim Coast, Mick D to ride for the team in New Zealand, and Stephen Marsh. Look, he's done a really good job in running second in a New Zealand Derby, so we know he gets the trip.
He bumped into a pretty good one there, didn't he, in by the filly called Orchestral. Here is the third place getter in the Victoria Derby in Sunsets. My query is he going well enough?
Yeah, because he was in the spring, you're right. He ran a really good third in the Victoria Derby. Johnny Allen rode him that day. He's got the form behind Riff Rocket and Southport Tycoon, but his last couple, few head scratches there, but he is a Group 3 winner. Air Assault, who Jason Holder will ride. He's looking for another Group 1. It's been a long time in between drinks for Stubby, pardon the pun.
Is that the best nickname in Australian racing, in Jason Stubby Holder? A terrific win 2 starts ago, solid run in the Chairmans. We know the Chairmans is a great form reference. This is the winner of the Chairmans. But this time the Chairmans, they back up within a week. Bold Soul was fantastic winning that race. And wouldn't it be great to see Jake Noonan with another Group 1? He hasn't won one since Precious Gem a long, long time ago. And David and Coral Feek are great, great people. This would be a wonderful story.
Yeah, Gold Wolf, who won at Caulfield over the 2,400 metres, beating Antrim Coast that day. It was a great ride by Neil Farley and gets the opportunity again to ride Gold Wolf, the gelded son of Tavachi. Glad you think so. John Sargent and young stayers, you know it makes sense, and as a result, he is your Richo's Ruffy.
Well, up at the Australian Easter Yearling Sale, you and I spoke to Rachel King about him and just said, that guy will just go all day. And I remember those comments, and that was through the ATC Derby. Surely that's the form reference.
Yeah.
Can't believe the price he's been.
So Warmonger, we had Mick Price in the studio a little bit earlier. He said that he was his best of the day, which was very interesting chat from him. And
blinkers off is going to be the key, and we loved his comment in regards to that, just trying to get him to settle. Can Opie go to 99? He's got a wide barrier. He does it for Chad Ormsby, the son-in-law of Mike Moroney. So we hope that Mike's feeling okay and on the improve as well. He is a Group 3 winner in New Zealand. We heard from the owner of this guy here.
Yeah, in a Samurai Mind. Lachlan Neindorf looking for back-to-back Group 1 weekends. Wouldn't that be a story for this guy by Seamus Award, bred by Gillan McLaughlin. A lot of his mates in the ownership of this guy. He did mention that he's quite a green prospect. He's only had the 4 career starts, but will definitely get the trip being by Seamus Award.
Shinjuku is by Tarzino, a Derby winner in his own right, Tarzino. Well, Mick's already said that the best of his is Warmonger. He has 3 runners in the race, which is a great achievement in itself. Can Ricky Maund and brother Jeff combine here to win? Just brilliant. At start number 4, this would be some training effort.
Wasn't he brilliant last start at $81, running a slashing second in the Chairman? So you got to line up when you run that well in a Group 3 to come to Group 1 company today. He won't be that big a price going forward, that's for sure. The 13, Steel Blaze, who comes out a lot of those Sydney races for Brett Lazzarini, who trains out of Kembla Grange, like the Rose Hill Guineas, the Randwick City listed quality, the Tulloch behind Wymark, and also the Chairmans as well. So well-travelled, but a big price.
The 14 for Johnny Ramsey and Darryl McClellan turning back the clock. Can he win another Group 1 20-plus years since he won his last one? Also ran in the Chairmans and ran in the VRC Derby, where he ran 8th, beaten less than 10 lengths by Riff Rocket. Is that good enough form reference? I think most punters really like this filly.
Yeah, and it would be good to see Jamie Carr winning a Group 1 on her home deck. Coco Sun, she's stayed over in South Australia after running 3rd in the Australasian Oaks. She faces the boys today, but she's run really well in nearly every race she's contested, including the Wakeful and the VRC Oaks in the spring behind Amazonian Lass and Zardozi. She's on the quick backup. Ayariri, she is a fascinating filly, and it's fascinating placement from Chris Waller here.
I think he's just looking for 2,500 metres. I mean, she won the St Ledger at 2,800 metres. It might be too short for her. She is a dead set stayer. So she gets a big opportunity here at the 2,500 metres. Days, the field for a Group 1, the South Australian Derby.
Well, as you'd expect here with the quality of runners, Richo, there is cash going left, right and centre, and the PointsBet punters happy to back a few. So a bit to get through here, but it will be Ahuriri, who is your $4.20 favourite. So no concerns there about how long this race will be going. The longer, the better, the punters thinking. Warmonger, as you said, Mick Price gave a nice push. $5 right throughout, having not moved. Coco Sun, $5 there. 35% of the hold with that runner. That was all when markets opened on Wednesday. Antrim Coast, another one there, they're backed at the $7.50 quote. Outside of that, out of stock. 19s, 14s. Yes, please say the punters. Sunsets, 29s into 18s. The rest here are starting to get a touch easy. So there's plenty of money flying around. Of course, now on the PointsBet app, we're bringing you Track Talk, where the traders bring you some insights into the racing. It's all about Coco Sun, as I said. Smacked early when markets went up. $7, 35% of the hold. The sharps, they've come third placing in the Oaks last week. 7-day turnaround. Now a $5 chance. That's where the punters are looking. Of course, what are you really gambling with for free and confidential sport? Call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Oh, it's a tough race, isn't it? But a great edition of the South Australian Derby. There's Glad You Think So for John Sargent. Blake Shin heading off to the gates.
What are you thinking here? I've gone with the fillies, but I'm with Hariri. Most of the good experts are thinking more Coco Sun. What do you think?
Oh, this is tough. I mean, the fillies have been exceptional, haven't they? Coco Sun in the Australasian Oaks, Hariri in the St Ledger. The way that Mick Price, though, was speaking about Warmonger and the way he hit the line last start, you know he's going to love the 2500. You know he's probably going to put in a peak performance coming into this Group 1. He would have been trained to the minute. I think on ratings and where he's at, he's the horse I'd be having a wager on. Glad You Think So, though. Glad You Think So is the interesting runner coming with that Sydney form, though, and maybe that's superior.
We just don't know. I just thought it was way over the odds, and it was despised in the early betting, and there is some money for it today, which is great news. Market mover?
I did just get a word from the traders that a Samurai Mind had $2,000 on it, $41. So no doubt Gil McLaughlin, that's where that might have come from. As the old saying goes, it's different if you need it. But it will be Coco Sun that is best back. The traders saying that big cash early on, $7 into $5. A wide open affair, but Coco Sun best back with us here at PointsBet.
That sounds like a saver bet for him.
I mean, a Samurai Mind's an interesting horse as well because he's so lightly raced.
Yeah.
Comes into this as green as grass, as Gil said. It'd be a great story, wouldn't it? What about Out of Stock, which would be brilliant for Opie? I hope he gets to that 100. I really do. He's clinging on, still riding, isn't he? Because I know it's a battle with his weight every single week. He's got the 2 young kids now and they're living on the farm, living a great life. I want to see him get that 100.
I'm sure he will.
I don't think he'll stop riding until he gets
you're dead right. I'm sure he will, and he'll probably do it in New Zealand. So I'd love to see him get awfully close today. He's one of our favourites, of course, through his wife, who does a lot of work for us, and she's fantastic in Emily. Who's the best South Australian Derby winner? Well, in recent years, it's hard to go past Mama Fight. What a star he was for your dad and a group of owners that are very close to his heart. Leading up, he ran second in a Rosehill Guineas, third in an AJC Derby, and then won the Chairman's leading in. I don't think we realised just how good he was going to be, Mama Fight.
Yeah, and then went on to win a Caulfield Cup, and he was sadly even his second. He very nearly won it, didn't he? And it didn't go to plan. But a favourite horse of the stable, that is for sure, and a ripping ride that day. Didn't go round a horse in the South Australian Derby. I mean, if you look back to that kind of form, then you've got to think. Glad You Think So, coming through similar form lines, is maybe the horse to take a look at. But it's who's tough enough to stay out the 2500.
And the tactics will be really interesting there. You can't over-race. Here is horse number 6 going forward. Blake Shin from a wide barrier for John Sargent. You know he will be fit enough. Huge crowd at Morphettville. It's Derby Day, and wherever around the world, as Bruce said at the start, as soon as you say the word Derby, you know that it's important. Here is the Derby.
Colours to be worn here by Bold Soul. If you're looking for Bold Soul, who won the Chairman's in the Patrick Payne colours, he's got club colours on today. The Racing SA dark blue, light blue sleeves. He's coming into the gates now. Warmonger to move up. Warrior to Warrior, Coco Sun, and Out of Stock. So the Chris Waller trained Hariri, winner of the St Ledger at Flemington, $4.80, $5.50 Coco Sun, $6 for Warmonger, $7.50 Antrim Coast, $9 Bold Soul. Just 2 to load, Warrior to Warrior, and Out of Stock, and the field will be set for the running of the South Australian Derby, the 151st running of the South Australian Derby. The 2 fillies are favourite, Hariri and Coco Sun. Plenty with a chance. Gates open, they're racing in the Derby. They all stepped cleanly. Out of Stock is going to be snagged back. Nearer the inside, Sunsets, Coco Sun, Just Brilliant, Antrim Coast and Air Assault's the widest. Tulsa King travelling forward, so is Glad You Think So. Air Assault very deep on the track. He's moving forward with Coco Sun. Just Brilliant, Antrim Coast, but Air Assault crosses and leads. Air Assault has the lead. Tulsa King wider out looking for the spot outside of him. Coco Sun racing handy and third alongside of Glad You Think So. Then Just Brilliant from Antrim Coast. A length away to a Samurai Mine who's able to sneak in with cover. Bold Souls caught deep. Sunsets on the rail. Then came Steel Blaze who's wide. Warrior to Warrior's even deeper. Gold Wolf next from Warmonger who went back to third last with Shinjuku, Ahariri. And two back last of all to the Kiwi Out of Stock. The leader Air Assault out in front, striding fluently by a length and a half to Tulsa King. And two back is Coco Sun third. Fourth position is Glad You Think So at the 1400 metres. Then Antrim Coast from Just Brilliant. Bold Souls a fraction deep from a Samurai Mine. Sunsets the rail, then Warrior to Warrior. Steel Blaze also covering a little bit of ground as they head to the bend at the 1250. They're halfway home. Then came towards the back of the field Shinjuku in company with Gold Wolf, who's about third last. Ahariri, Warmonger, Out of Stock last of all. Leader down the side, Air Assault approaching the 1,000. By a length on Tulsa King creeping closer. Here are some moves from the back. Steel Blaze gets moving, flushes a few out in the process. Bold Soul, Air Assault at the 800 about to be attacked. Tulsa King and Steel Blaze deeper out. Coco Sun sweating on a run behind the speed with Glad You Think So. Bold Soul. Ahariri was moving forward. She then ran into traffic. Antrim's Coast was next. Followed then by Warmonger, who's well back, but he's going to have to come deep. So too Out of Stock as they race up to the bend. Air Assault kept finding 500 metres to run in the Derby. A narrow margin on Tulsa King. Coco Sun sneaking through on the rail to join them. Air Assault in front from Coco Sun. Tulsa King. Then came Antrim Coast, Warmonger descending down the middle. Air Assault joined by Coco Sun. Coco Sun rallied through underneath Air Assault to take a slender lead. A half, three quarters Coco Sun on Air Assault. Warmonger's flashing down the outside. Coco Sun in front from Warmonger. Jamie Carr gets her Group 1 in South Australia. Coco Sun wins the Derby for the McAvoys over Warmonger and Air Assault a brave third. Fourth, maybe Antrim Coast from Ahariri and Tulsa King. Next one in at the head of the others was Just Brilliant, followed by Steel Blaze and then Gold Wolf, Warrior to Warrior. Next one in, a tiring Sunsets, a Samurai Mine. Shinjuku's back towards the tail end.
That is a peach of a ride. Jamie Carr, Coco Sun, Team McAvoy. Now, don't be fooled. While she got the gun rails run and didn't go round a horse, she didn't draw an inside gate. She was in gate 8.
How did she do it? I want to see the replay again. How did she get into that spot? And we were chatting about it in the run. You just wanted to be on her so far out. Air Assault was setting the tempo, runs third. Antrim Coast trucked up behind Jamie Carr, ended up going wide over her heels to try to get into the run, ends up running fourth. From the rear of the field comes Warmonger, Warmonger and Ahiri were going for the same spot. Warmonger got in there first, so it's ended up getting up to second as Ahiri starts hitting the line down the outside. Jamie Carr, she is just a Group 1 star, we know that. We've reflected on her time and time again. No female jockey's ever ridden more winners than she has. That's win number 13 in her career. That's alongside Luke Curry, Mick D, riders of that calibre. What a star.
Yeah, she's doing a wonderful job this season, her best season to date, and that would have meant maybe more than the other Group 1s in a way because it was on the home deck, and I'm sure a lot of family were there to watch her today. To win one at Morphettville means a lot, especially on a filly. Beating up the boys, a great job there for Coco Sun as we move